Namaskar. Good afternoon to all my Indian friends and a good morning to all my Finland friends. So today we are here for a very interesting session on storytelling as a pedagogy. I extend a very warm welcome to respected Professor D.P. Saklani, Director NCERT, Professor Anupama Ahuja, the ex-head of International Relations Division at NCERT, under whose regime this MOU was signed, Dr. Leena Haltunen, the head Department of Education at University of eVidya, Finland, and all the artists who will be performing today. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you for the first webinar in the series of webinars that we'll be holding. I extend a very warm welcome to the Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Shri Sanjay Kumarji, Ministry of Education. I extend a warm welcome to all senior officials of the Ministry of Work for Teaching and Learning Gintal India Network in March 2022 to collaborate and work in the domains of school and teacher education with mutual understanding and cooperation. In the ECC collaborative area, a series of webinars has been planned to be organized on the topics of mutual interest. The next in the series will be webinars on play-based learning and STEAM education at foundational stage. Storytelling as a pedagogy in the early years is the theme of today's seminar. NEP 2020 and NCFFS 2022 have recommended storytelling as an important pedagogy for the foundational years. For children, stories act as a portal to the world, captivating, exquisite, and enchanting. Stories are an exceptional medium for learning about social dynamics, ethical decision-making, understanding and navigating emotions, and acquiring essential life skills. Through culturally contextual stories, we can familiarize children with their culture, societal norms, and instill awareness about their environment. India has a rich and diverse range of storytelling methods. There are some that are told through the medium of dance, music, and also through drawings and paintings. The Indian folklore encompasses the Panchatantra, a collection of animal fables and Jatak tales which revolve around Lord Buddha's previous incarnations. The ancient epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata are the cornerstone of Indian folklore. This webinar is an attempt to revive the traditional storytelling techniques and demonstrates how they can be effectively used at the foundational stage. With these remarks, I now request Dr. Leena Haltunen, Head of the Department of Education at University of eVidya, Finland, to give her opening remarks about this webinar and the partnership. Dr. Leena, please. Yes, you can unmute yourself, Dr. Leena. No, she's not able to speak. Yeah, you can speak, Dr. Leena. Unmute. You have to unmute yourself. No, she is unmuted, she says. Please allow her to speak. Please unmute her.
She is muted now.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Sorry, so technology creates problem at times, yeah. Yes, Dr. Leena.
Yes. I think I would first of all say that there is some excitement in the air when we are at this situation, what we have waited for, I think 1 year or more, that we are actually present, not only a couple of us who have met during this process, but it is so wonderful to see how many people you have been able to connect to this first webinar. So my warm welcome to this first webinar, which is arranged together together with our Indian partners. And as Dr. Suniti said, this will open an webinar series, at least for a couple of webinars which we have planned, but hopefully there will be also a continuous, hopefully we can also continue this collaboration through these webinars. My welcome comes also from Jindal India, which is coordinated by our university. Jindal India, or Jindal, called Global Innovation Network for Teaching and Learning. And I'm so sure that we, both sides, India and Finland, can learn from each other. So my special thanks to all of you, Dr. Saklani, Dr. Anupam, Dr. Suniti, for taking care of this first seminar and making it possible that we finally can open and start our webinar series. Storytelling, the topic of the first webinar, is something we have also used in Finland concerning as a pedagogy in early years. And the puppetry, which I suppose that we will also hear today something about, or perhaps we learn about it later on. Those are pedagogical tools which we have also, as said, used in early childhood education. But I think that somehow in Finnish early childhood education, they are partly forgotten pedagogies. So it's highly important and interesting to hear how stories are used in Indian early years, in Indian early childhood education. I know that storytelling is very valuable and a cultural thing in your context, and it is very interesting to hear how you use that storytelling as a tool in early childhood education. But with these remarks, I still would like to thank you for organizing this webinar and looking forward continuing our collaboration through these webinars, and perhaps we also find some other means how to collaborate between India and Finland. The background in my screen is very summer-like, but actually we have now winter time in Finland, so I'm sure that also this webinar brings us Finns some warmness from your country to the winter time in Finland. I hope that you all have a nice webinar session, and we'll meet again later this year when we organize the next webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lena, for those opening remarks. And of course, we would really hope that the storytelling session also brings some cheers and some warmth from India to the Finnish people. May I now request Professor D.P. Saklani, Director NCERT, for his inaugural remarks.
Thank you very much. Professor Suniti Sanwal, Professor Anupamji, Secretary School Education, other officers from Ministry, my colleagues from NCERT, and friends from Finland. I also welcome you, and warm welcome to Finnish friends, so that some warmth from here may go to there also, and minimize their cold feelings. So, but of course, climate can be cold, but our feelings are very warm. And from inside, we are very warm to each other. Actually, this is a very important occasion. As we know that we had signed a MOU last time when you met me, and we also visited Finland, and again we had a meeting very recently. Again, at that time also I mentioned that when I joined, the COVID was over, and in March we signed this MOU. This was the first MOU after I joined, and I felt very much happy, and it was a pleasure for me to take this journey forward. So this is the first webinar in the series we decided last time in our joint working group meeting. And this is very, I think, productive webinar. This is going to be very productive webinar because we have implemented NEP 2020. We are now in action, and through that we are going to take care of the early childhood care and education, the ECCE, at the foundational stage. So this is very important. Storytelling is a very, I think, good component of pedagogy to taking things to the kids in a very holistic manner, enjoyable manner, and that has been our tradition also. So I know that the MOU between NCERT, Gentil, and the Finnish National Agency Education establishes a platform for mutual learning between India and Finland. The collaboration is a testament to the shared commitment to enhancing educational practices in the domains of school and teacher education. We know that Finland is renowned for its successful educational practices worldwide, brings a wealth of experience to our collaborative efforts. Simultaneously, India, drawing from its diverse cultural heritage, robust traditional knowledge system, and it's a big, large size, and the population we cater to the needs of the 260 million school-going kids. So this is very big, and it holds the potential to offer profound perspectives to the global education community. This is the requirement of the time, that we do work together and give and take the best practices from each other, our traditions. And our joint exploration into the art of storytelling in early childhood education aligns with the spirit of collaboration and knowledge exchange. Today, as we collectively delve into the diverse storytelling traditions, this webinar will foster a dynamic exchange of ideas and practices. I remember that in the childhood, when we are very small kids, our homes were the center of storytelling. Our grandmother or granny or my grandfather, they used to tell different type of stories, and these stories are woven around us, taking cue from our environment, from our tradition, from our culture in a very interesting way. And the element of curiosity is very high in those stories. So this practice has been there, and we have also the very, holy tradition of the storytelling in the form of Panchatantra, Jatak Kathas, and we have the epics, and so many folk tales and folklores are loaded with the beautiful stories and beautiful themes. But the way of telling a story is very interesting always, I found it. Recognizing the profound impact of storytelling, the National Education Policy and the National Curriculum Framework emphasize its pivotal role in the holistic development of children. Beyond language acquisition, storytelling nurtures emotional intelligence, social skills, and intellectual growth. As a pedagogical tool, it becomes instrumental in shaping the foundational stages of a child's education, aligning seamlessly with the broader educational framework. This brings us to our upcoming webinar, a vibrant exploration of diverse storytelling styles. The webinar will delve into the enhancing realms of the Kavar Katha, Panchatantra storytelling through drama, and the captivating art of strings and shadow puppets. By showcasing these varied storytelling techniques, the webinar aims to benefit all stakeholders involved in education and cultural preservation. Once again, a heartfelt welcome to each one of you. May this webinar be a source of inspiration, collaboration, and discovery as we collectively explore the captivating world of storytelling in education. Thank you very much again, and warm welcome again, and wish very successful webinar to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a captivating session of stories. I now invite Ms. Noopur Agarwal, who is a Hyderabad-based author, storyteller. So Kavad Katha, she'll be demonstrating Kavad Katha and Patachitra. Kavad Katha from Rajasthan, India, is a 400-year-old storytelling form. It features a portable shrine-like portable equipment with visual narratives of mythological folk tales. Each door opening reveals a new character. And she will be talking on Patachitra, which originates in Orissa extending to West Bengal is a traditional form of cloth-based scroll painting known for its vivid hues, intricate designs, and depiction of mythological narratives. This art form combines visual storytelling with oral tradition. Over to you, Nupur. Yes, Nupur, we can start.
Hello, everyone. Stories are truly magical. Stories make learning fun and interesting. Stories can light up a classroom space. When we tell stories to students inside a classroom, we help them develop empathy. We help them build on their speaking skills, their comprehension, their listening skills. Stories deserve a place in the classroom. Today, I am going to share with you 2 folk tales using Indian art form. And thereon, I'll discuss curriculum integrating ideas with you along with a little bit on the folk art. So for the first story, allow me to take you to a town not too far from where I live. In that town, there lived a tailor. The tailor was a very, very hard-working man. From morning till evening, he would snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. Can you join me? Can you do? Snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. One more time. Snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. So from morning till evening, he would stitch clothes for the beautiful people of his town. His shop was filled with fabrics of all kinds. There was georgette, there was chiffon, there was cotton, linen, jute, brocade, silk, you name it, and he had it. And he had them in all possible colors. Violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, red, yellow, golden, silver, black, white, grey. His shop was truly magical. Would you like to meet the tailor? Come on. Here is the tailor. The tailor, the hard-working tailor, you can see, stitching clothes for the beautiful people of his town. Now the tailor was so busy stitching clothes for the people of his town that he never had enough time to stitch anything for himself. And as a result, his clothes were always tattered and torn. One day, the tailor received a parcel at his doorstep. Along with the parcel came a small note. When he opened the parcel, he found a beautiful blue floral fabric. Well, what was written in that note? It was a gift from the people of his town. And in the note they had scribbled, "Dear tailor, you've always stitched beautiful clothes for us. It's time for you to stitch something nice for yourself. We are sending you a piece of fabric. Please make a coat, stitch a coat for yourself." The tailor was truly excited. There was a present for him. He at once got to work. He snipped, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. So here is the help I need from you. When you hear me say snip, you go snipping. Snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. So let's go together. Snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. It took him some time, but soon his coat was ready. Look at him, his coat. How handsome, how dapper he looked. And when he wore the coat and he walked down the street, every head turned towards the tailor. And everyone who was watching him had the same thought. We wish we had a coat like that. The tailor started wearing his coat everywhere. He wore it on all days. He wore it in all seasons. And when you wear something every day in all seasons, what happens to it? Yes, you guessed it right. It gets tattered and torn. And that's what happened to the tailor's coat. The coat got tattered and torn. The tailor he felt sad. He felt bad. It was his favorite coat. He didn't want to throw away his coat. So he laid his coat on the table and he thought hard. And he wondered, what could he do with it? He looked at it hard and he understood there was enough fabric still left in the coat for him to turn it into a jacket. Yes, a jacket. And that's what he did. He snipped, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. Remember the actions? Snipped, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. Can we do that one more time? Snip, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. See him at work, making his jacket. The tailor was so happy with the jacket. Then he wore the jacket and he stood in front of the mirror. How handsome, how dapper he looked. And when he wore the jacket and he walked on the street, every head turned towards the tailor and everyone who was watching him had the same thought. We wish we had a jacket like that. The tailor was mighty pleased with himself and his jacket. He started wearing his jacket every day. He wore it everywhere. He wore it in all seasons. And you would have guessed, yes, if you wear something every day so often, what happens to it? Right, it gets tattered and torn. And that's what happened to the tailor's jacket. He felt sad and bad looking at his torn jacket. He didn't want to throw it. He looked hard at his jacket and he wondered what could he do with it. And after thinking, he had an idea. He decided to make a vest out of it. There was still enough fabric left in the jacket to turn it into a vest. The tailor got to work. He snipped, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. If you are with me, can I ask you to do the action along with me? Snip, 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 and stitch, stitch, stitch. One more time. Snip, 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 and he stitched, stitched, stitched. And so his vest was ready. He wore the vest and he stood in front of the mirror. Oh, how handsome, how dapper he looked. And wearing that vest, when he walked down the street, every head turned towards him. And everyone who was watching him had the same thought. We wish we had a vest like that. The tailor was himself and his vest. He started wearing it every day. He wore it everywhere. He wore it in all seasons. And when you wear something so often, what happens? Yes, it gets tattered and torn. And the tailor's vest got tattered and torn. The tailor was feeling so sad and bad. It was his favorite vest. He wondered, what could he do with it? Because the tailor certainly did not want to throw away his vest. It was his favorite vest. He looked at his vest hard. And he had an idea. He decided to stitch a button out of it. Yes, that's what he did. The tailor trimmed the fabric, snip, 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 and he stitched, stitch, stitch, snip, 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 and he stitched, stitch, stitch, and soon his button was ready. He used golden and silver threads to stitch that button. And then he stitched that button with golden and silver threads onto one of his shirts. And when he wore that shirt with that button and he stood in front of the mirror, how handsome, how dapper he looked. And when he walked down the street, every head turned towards the tailor, and everyone who was watching him had the same thought. We wish we had a similar shirt. We wish we had a shirt like that, and a button like that. The tailor was mighty pleased with himself. He started wearing the shirt with that particular button everywhere. He wore it every day. He wore it in all seasons. And when you wear something so often, what happens to it? it gets tattered and torn. And one day, the tailor saw that his button had become tattered and torn. The tailor removed that button from his shirt and he looked at it hard. He held it against the sun and he took a closer look at it. And he wondered, what could he do with his button? And as he was thinking, a strong wind. Shall we have some sound effect for the wind? Yes. A strong wind. A very strong wind started taking the threads of the button away with it. The tailor was horrified. The tailor was losing his favorite button. The tailor quickly closed his fist and he let the wind pass. And after a while, when he opened his fist and he looked at the button, very little of it was left. He wondered, what could he do with it? Tailor decided to make a story out of it. A story that I shared with you. A story that I hope you enjoyed listening to. So as I roll this Patachitra, I want you to reflect on the emotions that surfaced for you when you were listening to this story. How did you feel when you were listening to the tailor's quote? A Russian folktale which I presented to you in the form of Patachitra. More on this art form coming soon. But I want to hear till then, what were the emotions? What emotions did you feel when you were listening to the tailor's quote? Yes, I can hear you. Happiness, sadness, confusion, anxiety, nervousness. Yeah, all of it. A wide range of emotions. And that's the magic of stories. So now let's look at ideas for integrating this story, the tailor's quote, a Russian folktale, into the curriculum. Can we have the PPT, please? The reason why I chose this story was that this story can be adapted to different age groups and it has a potential for interdisciplinary learning. But before I share further ideas on how do we integrate it into the curriculum, there's one thing that I want you to draw your attention towards. This Patachitra, this scroll painting, was not just about visuals. There was a little bit of writing that accompanied each scene. This Patachitra then was created with a purpose. We wanted this to appeal to both audio and visual learners. Children who are deaf and dumb can read and understand the story and vice versa. Thank you. PPT, please. So, if you ask questions to the listeners, to the students, post the story, questions like, what kind of clothes did the tailor stitch for the people of his town? Why were the tailor's clothes always tattered and torn? Why did the tailor not want to throw the garments? What did the tailor do with the button in the end? Such questions can help children practice listening skills and deepen their understanding and the connect they have with the story. And when children share their insights, you as an educator understand their level of comprehension as well. When you encourage students to explore diverse story endings and come up with their own story conclusion, you help children foster critical thinking and also you nurture their imaginative writing abilities. PPT, please. After the story, when you spend some time talking about the tailor's personality traits, exploring the impact his personality traits had on the story's outcome, you help children develop analytical thinking, and empathy. Now, this word empathy is mentioned often. It comes up in many conversations. And this is one skill that we want children to grow with. And stories are a great way of helping children develop empathy. Because when you present a story to children, you give them an opportunity to experience a life other than their own. They have an opportunity to get into the character's shoes. They hear what the character is hearing. They see what the character is seeing. They feel what the character is feeling. So the more stories we share with children, the better they would, or rather I would say that they will grow with a lot of empathy. Something that we all desire to see. PPT please. Using math in story-related situations, like figuring out how much fabric is needed to stitch a particular garment, or what is the cost of the fabric. All of these can be explored through a story, and it helps children build problem-solving abilities. I'll give you an example about Taylor's coat story. Now, once you've shared this story in the classroom, you can present children with word problems like, children, imagine that the tailor used 2 meters of fabric to stitch his coat. If he had to stitch 10 similar coats, how much fabric would be needed? If the tailor bought 1 meter of fabric for, say, 200 rupees, how much money he has to spend to get 4.5 meters of fabric? So there are innumerable word problems that can be woven around this story. PPT please. This story is great in introducing children to the concept of recycling and sustainability. Now, being a Russian folktale, once you've shared the story, you can introduce children to the traditions, the customs, the food habits, the climate of Russia, and so many other things in and around Russia. And also, since it's a Russian folktale and of a certain kind, you can ask children to go and research more folk tales which are similar to this particular one. So this helps the children build an understanding of different cultures and also build an appreciation for cultures. And an exciting idea for me is to organize a community clothing drive where children can go around, collect old garments from different houses and gift it to those who need them. This can also go a long way in building empathy and social responsibility amongst the participants of the drive, in this case, the children. Next slide, please. So these are some curriculum integrated ideas, and now a little bit about this magical folk art form, Patachitra. Now, Patachitra has originated from Orissa and West Bengal. You can see the areas marked in pink and orange. These are the eastern part of our country, and people, for many, many years have been making Patachitra. How is it made? What it is all about? We'll see. Okay, we'll move on. The slide, please. So it's a style of painting that involves intricate details. It is painted with vibrant natural colors on silk or cotton cloth or specially treated palm leaves. They are often used to depict mythological stories, folklore, and some scenes from religious texts like Ramayana, Mahabharata. And here you can get an insight into what goes behind the scene. The BTS, the women are preparing natural colors to paint their Patachitra. The picture on the right is an artist painting a Patachitra. He's doing it on a palm leaf. And below, you can see how intricate the artwork is. Next slide. All right. Coming back to the next story. If you enjoyed listening to the Taylor's Court, you would love the next story, which I'm going to present to you with a magical storytelling box about to begin. Please, my props, please pass them on. So for the next story, I'm going to take you straight to Kerala. Kerala, there was a small town called Mada. Mada was famous for its valleys, its hills, waterfalls. Mada was famous for the people who resided there. They were very friendly people. Mada was famous for its mango orchards. But today's story is not about the hills and the valleys and the waterfalls of Mada. It is not about the lovely people who resided there. It's not even about the mango orchards that Mada is famous for. The story today is about a monkey who lived in the town of Mada. So come along, let's meet the monkey. Somu was his name. All right, I'll just step here for a better look, clear look. Here. Now Somu one day woke up on a mango tree. Hot summer morning. And the trees were loaded with mangoes. And imagine you waking up on a mango tree. What would you do? Of course, pluck a mango and eat it. That's what Somu was doing. He plucked the mango, and not just any mango. He plucked a Benganapalli mango. Benganapalli mangoes are a variety which are very, very, very tasty, like sweet. So if you're fond of sweet mangoes, that's a mango for you. So Somu plucked a Benganapalli mango. He dug deep into it. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, he was so excited. But who can stop at one mango? He plucked another one. Can we pluck together? And Somu was enjoying the delicious mango. He plucked the third and the fourth and the fifth one, and the moment he plucked the sixth mango, Somu experienced a sharp shooting pain in his tail. He twirled, he whirled, he jumped, trying to take a closer look at his tail. And there he saw, stuck in his tail, a small thorn. A small thorn was stuck in his tail. The pain was unbearable. Somu wanted to take the thorn out immediately. He tried to pull it out, but he couldn't. The thorn was very small. Somu saw Dhamu, the fruit seller, sitting right under the tree. Sarrrr! He got down from the tree. He said, Dhamu, 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 a thorn is stuck in my tail. Can you please help me take that out? Dhamu, the fruit seller, offered his help. He tried to take the thorn out, but he couldn't. Somu, I'm sorry, I'm not able to take the thorn out. Dhamu, Dhamu, do something, I'm in deep pain, Dhamu, do something. Dhamu, knife, sharp knife of yours. Can you please take the thorn with this sharp knife? And that was it. When Dhamu tried to take Somu's thorn out with his sharp knife, zip, zap, zip, he cut off Somu's tail. My tail, my only tail, a precious tail. Dhamu, careless man you are. What did you do? Now you got to pay for your mistake, Dhamu. You give me my tail back, or you give me a sharp knife. Dhamu, the fruit seller, simple man, he did not know what to do. He decided to part ways with his knife. Somu was very happy. He was very proud of striking a handsome deal. He went along singing, I lost my tail, I got a knife, dum 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 dum. I lost my tail, I got a knife, dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Such a catchy tune. Why don't you sing along? Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. He was happily moving along with his sharp knife when he saw a boy who was trying to cut a dead tree for fuel. Let's meet the boy. Now, a closer look, Somu realized that the boy did not have an arm. Somu was very impressed. The boy with just one arm trying to do such a tough job. The boy was very hardworking. Somu stepped forward and said, Manakutti, your knife is not sharp. Plus, it is very small. And you have to cut so much wood. Why don't you take my sharp knife? The boy was happy. He took the knife from Somu, and just when he started cutting the wood, snip, snap, snip, he broke Somu's knife. Manakutti, you broke my knife? Oh, no, what precious knife. What did you do? Couldn't you be careful? Now, you give me my knife back or give me that bundle of wood. The boy decided to part ways with his bundle of wood. Somu was mighty pleased with the handsome deal he had struck. Somu went along singing, I lost my tail, I got a knife, dum 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 dum. I lost my knife, I got some wood, dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. He had not gone too far when he met an old woman. The old woman here was coughing. There was smoke all around her. Somu stepped closer. Amama, Amama, why are you coughing? Somu, I just want to make some dosas. Dosas are kind of pancake that we eat in India. So I'm making some dosas, but I don't have enough wood. I can't light a fire. You would have guessed by now. Somu stepped forward with his bundle of wood and said, Amama, Amama, take my bundle of wood. The old woman was very happy. She started her fire and sui sui, sui sui, sui sui, sui sui. Can you make dosas with me? Sui sui, sui sui. She started making the dosas. The more dosas she made, the more wood she burned. The more wood she burned, the more wood she used. The more wood she used, the more wood got over. And soon, snip, snap, snip, all the wood was used up. Mama, you're so greedy. You shouldn't have done that. Now you got to pay for your mistake, Mama. You give me all the dosas, I'll give my wood back. Of course, the old lady couldn't give the wood back. So she parted ways with her stack of dosas. And Somu was so happy, he went along singing. You can join me if you remember the lines. I lost my tail, I got a knife, dum 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 dum. I lost my knife, I got some wood, dum 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 dum. I lost the wood, I got some dosas, dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. And as he was happily walking with his dosa, it started raining. Usually, in the month of May, it shouldn't rain. But well, that's the effect of global warming. We can never predict rain, we can never predict snow. So Somu ran and he stood under a tree. And whom did he meet there? He met Girish, the drummer, who was sitting there with his shiny drum. But he had a long, sad face. Girish, Girish, what happened to you? Why are you not playing your drum? Asked Somu. Somu, I have not eaten anything since morning. I'm so hungry. Not even one dosa I've eaten. What did Somu do? He offered his stack of dosas to Girish. And want to do that with me? Oh, he polished up the entire dosa. Huh? What? Oh, selfish. Girish, you know you got to pay for your mistake. Either you give my dosas back or you give me that shiny drum of yours. Girish decided to part ways with his drum. Somu was so happy with the handsome deal. He went along singing. I lost my tail, I got a knife, dum 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 dum. I lost the knife, I got some wood, dum 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 dum. I lost, what did he lose? Yes, I lost the knife, I got some wood, dum 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 dum. I lost the wood, I got the dosa, dum 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 dum. I lost the dosas, got the drum, dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. Now, a question for you. What did Somu do with that drum? Did he trade it with someone? The story is now yours. Think about it. Can we have the presentation, please? We'll leave it here. Okay, over to the presentation. Now, the previous slide. Now, I asked you to tell me, to think about what happened next, because I wanted you to experience divergent thinking. So when we leave a story open-ended, we give children multiple opportunities to think about all the possible outcomes or solutions based on their knowledge, their creativity, their imagination, and their past experiences. The boy in the story is a handicap, and I created a character with a purpose. I wanted children to, to feel empathy for the character and also an understanding. Now, if I use this story in a language classroom, I would be very excited to create a story quilt. It can be easily done through a grid. Okay, can we have the presentation? So, a grid can be created, a 3x3 box can be created, and each box can be labeled with one element of the story. And then as you narrate the story, you can stop periodically and ask the children if they can identify and fill any of the relevant grids. Next slide. Here is an example that I've created for you. It's a 3x3 grid. Each grid has been named after one element of the story: character, time, place, conflict, solution, the usual elements that comprises the story. You can periodically stop and ask children if they can fill the grid. Now, you saw how the monkey got a drum at the end, a trickster monkey. So you can encourage children to create their own musical instrument, a rattle, a drum, a shaker with some recycled material. Slide, please. And of course, it's a great story to help children collect information about the habitat, diet, characteristics of monkeys. And again, as I had said in the previous folktale, this folktale can also be used to introduce children to the Indian folk art, Indian traditions, Indian rituals, festivals, diet, because this is an Indian folklore. Okay, so a quick run through about how this cover is created. Can we have the next slide? Yeah, so this is a storytelling box of Rajasthan. Next slide. Rajasthan is a state in the western part of India. Next slide. It is a handheld wooden shrine. We can hold it in hand. It's made up of wood. The shrine word refers to the reverence, the respect that people have for this art form. It is crafted from wood, and each panel represents a scene of the story. So when you open the entire box, it creates a visual storytelling sequence for its listeners. So that was all from me today. I enjoyed sharing the stories with you, and I hope you enjoyed listening to them. Thank you so much. Dum 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 dum.
That was mesmerizing. I think the coward and the Patachitra that you showed, I think truly mesmerizing. What do you have to say, Professor Anupam?
Surely, Suniti ji, I think the storyteller clearly told us very loud and clear that the aids for teaching and sharing a story is not just the teacher, but what we bring with us, the color we get, and the variety we bring as a medium to narrate the story makes all the difference. In fact, the big difference.
Yes, truly. So thank you so much. Thank you, Nupur. And now I invite Ms. Anupama Hoskere, founder, Dhatu Puppets Theatre, in Bangalore, Karnataka, who will be showing us the string and shadow puppets. String and shadow puppets are captivating storytelling forms deeply ingrained in India's cultural heritage. String puppets are skillfully manipulated from above, allowing for lifelike gestures and emotions. Meanwhile, shadow puppetry involves puppeteers hidden behind a screen, skillfully bringing shadow characters to life. So we are all ready to see the puppetry, which is shadow and string puppetry. So over to you, Anupma ji, at Bangalore, Karnataka. Can we have the Karnataka team, please?
Namaskara. Namaskara.
क्या हुआ?
Namaskara.
No ji.
They didn't bring us on.
CIT को बोलो.
Namaste.
CIT वाली.
Now, our namak kelsidaರೆ. Namaskara. Greetings from Bengaluru on this auspicious day of Uttana Dwadasi. We bring to you the genre of traditional puppets of Karnataka. We present a string puppet theatre in which you will see a glimpse of a shadow puppet as well as a rod puppet of Karnataka. The string puppet theatre of Karnataka has equal emphasis on form and content. We have the form, the aesthetics of the form borrowed from the directives of the Natya Shastra. We have music, which is the folk of Karnataka, mixed with the Carnatic classical tune.
Just a minute. There is no audio, Manjula, Anupma ji, there is no audio. So some technical glitch, sorry for it. Karnataka team, could you please see?
Namaskara, can you hear me? Please respond. Namaste, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
No, we can't hear.
You have to be a little louder, Anupma ji. There's no audio here.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you very
Am I
faintly.
audible
but-
now? Am
Right,
I audible
right.
now?
Yeah, a little louder.
Please increase the volume. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are now.
Better.
Okay, better.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, maximize it, please. Namaskara. Greetings from Bengaluru on this auspicious day of Uttana Dwadasi. We present to you the traditional puppet theatre of Karnataka. The genre is the string puppet of Karnataka with a sample of a shadow puppet and a rod puppet. The puppet theatre of Karnataka holds equal emphasis on form and content. The aesthetics of the puppet theatre of Karnataka follow the directives of the Natya Shastra. The content we will be presenting to you today is from the stories of Panchatantra. Panchatantra is a system of stories which is of 5 volumes or tantras, and we choose today's story from the 3rd book, Kakolukiyam. Panchatantra was translated into 240 odd languages of the world in the pre-print era. Panchatantra is the first satire written in India. It was written to educate intelligent but lazy boys who missed schooling because these boys had to become great administrators and rule the kingdom. The boys had their foundational training of life, administration, and the economy of the nation through this satire of Panchatantra. Vishnu Sharman, who is the author of Panchatantra, takes the boys into the forest to educate them. He uses all the animal forms that he sees to drive home lessons of life. The story we present today is from Karthanakiyan, the war between the rivals crows, Kaka, and owls, Ulukas. The defector of the crow kingdom, the Kaka minister, goes into the owl kingdom and tells them that I do not like my king anymore. I am going to come into your kingdom and be your friend. The owl king is very happy, he's delighted. He calls all his ministers and says, look, we have somebody here who knows all the secrets of the Kaka kingdom, the crow kingdom, and he is going to help us today with whatever that we have to do, how to conquer the kings. There is one minister of the owls. He says, oh king, no, don't do this. Don't you understand? For who they are, they may appear to change, but eventually we will see that they are who the nature directs. So the king says, what is all this? He's telling us that he's going to help us. And the owl minister says, Rajan, have you not seen or heard about the story of the Moshika? King says, no, I never heard of the story. And then the owl minister tells him the story of Moshika, which happens on the banks of river Ganga. Let's watch, come.
Namaste. Welcome to Dhatu Puppet Theatre. Dhatu was founded in 2004 with the aim of bringing India's great treasure trove of stories from historical epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, from literary masterpieces of poetic greats such as Bhasa and Kalidasa, as well as stories from the Panchatantra and the many stories of India's great sages, kings and thinkers. Dhatu specializes in the use of the ancient and vanishing art forms of doll-keeping and puppetry to tell stories. Members of Dhatu are experienced performing artists in the field of classical dance, music, and traditional puppetry. Puppets that you will see today have been crafted at Dhatu. We request you to kindly put your mobiles on silent mode and invite you to sit back, relax and enjoy this Dhatu production. On the banks of the river Janhavi, there were hundreds of practicing ascetics doing severe penances, meditation and yoga in a disciplined manner. They had conquered their physical bodies. They lived eating only roots and wearing bark garments. Their whole life was dedicated to the good of the universe. Sage Yajnavalkya was their Kulapati or leader. He came into the river to offer oblations in the form of water and with Vedic chanting to greet the rising sun when... Oh, poor helpless creature. This mouse will eventually become prey to the hawk if I do not protect her. By my yogic powers, acquired by years of penance, I can change the form of this female mouse. I shall take this baby girl home and give it as a present to my wife, who has always wanted a child but could never have one. Yajnavalkya's wife was overjoyed to receive the baby. She gave it all the love and affection in the world. She also educated her. Time rolled on. The little girl was now a young maiden.
Maharshi, our daughter has grown to become a beautiful maiden. Her hand should be given in marriage to the most suitable young man.
You are right. It is the parents' duty to get the girl married on time, where wealth is very much the same, and similarly the family name, marriage or friendship is secure, but not between rich and poor.
My dear, you know what they say. Good money, good looks, and knowledge of the books. Good family, youth, position, and truth.
Get these 7 things in marriage and you can ignore the rest.
So, who is the best suitor?
Let me see. If you agree, I shall summon the sun, Surya Bhagavan, to come and marry our daughter.
Ah, that is very good.
साक्षिणे विश्वचक्षुषे लोकाधाराय सूर्याय नमस्ते सप्त सप्तये सूर्या ಚಕ್ರವರೂಥದೊಳ್ ಸಪ್ತಾಶ್ವಸಜ್ಜಿತಯಾನದೊಳ್ ಲೋಕಮಂಗಳಕಾರಿ ಬಂದನು ಭಾಸ್ಕರಂ ಸುಯಶಸ್ಕರೋ
Maharshi Yajnavalkya, why have you invited me?
This is my daughter, whom I want you to marry. My dear daughter, would you like to marry this powerful sun god who lights up the three worlds?
No, father. He burns too hot. Please summon his superior.
Oh, Surya Bhagavan, is there anyone superior to you?
The Cloud King Megharaja is superior to me. When he comes, I disappear.
सर्वेषां जीवनार्थाय विद्युदुज्ज्वलवर्ष्मणे इन्द्रकार्मुक सान्द्राय जीमूताय नमो नमः ಮಿಂಚುಗೊಂಚಲಿನ ಸಂಚು ಶೋಭಿಸಿರೆ ಸಾಂದ್ರ ನೀಲವರ್ಣ ತೇಲುದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಗುವ ದಿವ್ಯವಾರಿ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮೋಡ ಬಂದಿತಿದೋ ನೋಡ ಬಂದಿತಿದೋ ಕೂಡ ಬಂತು ನೋಡಿ ಹೊಳೆವ ಮಳೆಯ ಬಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿತ್ತರಿಪ ಬಣ್ಣವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡಿ
Oh, Maharshi Yagnavalkya, why did you summon me?
Oh, Megharaja, this is my daughter. I would like you to be her husband. My dear daughter, would you like to marry this most likable cloud king who sustains the whole world with his reign?
No, father. He's too dark, cold, and shapeless. Please summon his superior.
Oh, Megharaja, is there anyone superior to you?
The wind god Vayudeva is more powerful than I. When he comes, I am scattered.
मातरिश्वाय भव्याय प्राणभूताय जीविनाम् सदा सञ्चारशीलाय वायवे विभवे नमः वायवे विभवे नमः वायवे विभवे नमः ಜಗದ ಜೀವಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬದುಕಿನುಸಿರ ನೀವ ದೇವನು ಸೊಗದ ಸುಳಿವಿನಂತೆ ಸದಾ ಸುಳಿಯುತ್ತಿರುವ ಭಾವನು ಚಿಗರೆಯೇರಿ ಬರುವ ಚಿತ್ರ ಚಾತುರಿ ವಿಹಾರನು ಸಿಗದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವನಿವನೇ ವಾಯುವೀರನು ಇವನೇ ವಾಯುವೀರನು ಇವನೇ ವಾಯುವೀರನು ಇವನೇ ವಾಯುವೀರನು
Yajnavalkya, here I am as you desired.
Vayudeva, Namo Namaha. I would like you to wed my Kanya. My dear daughter, would you like to marry this most powerful wind god without whom there can be no life on earth?
No, father. He's too fickle and unsettled. I need somebody better.
Oh, Vayudeva, is there somebody better than you even to wed my daughter?
Parvataraja, the king of mountains, can stop me anytime.
भूधराय बलिष्ठाय स्थिराय शिखरात्मने शैलराजाय तुंगाय नमस्ते गोत्र रूपिणे
धुम तनक धुम धुम तनक धुम धुम तनक धुम 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 तनक धुम धुम तनक धुम धुम तनक धुम 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 धुम
ಗಂಡ ಶಿಲೆಗಳ ಗಂಡು ದೈತೇಯರಿಗೆ ಚಂಡು ತೊಂಡು ಗಡೆವರ ಗುಂಡು ಬಲದ ಹಿಂಡು ತಾಂಡವಿಸುವಿ ತುಂಗ ವೈಭವದ ಸಿರಿದಂಡು ಚಂಡ ಪರ್ವತ ಬಂದಿದಿತ್ತ ಕಂಡು ಚಂಡ ಪರ್ವತ ಬಂದಿದಿತ್ತ ಕಂಡು
Behold, Yajnavalkya, I have come.
Oh, Parvataraja, will you please accept my daughter's hand in marriage? My dear daughter, look, here is the best suitor for you.
Sorry, dear father. He does not please me. Look, he is rough and rugged. I cannot marry him. Please, I need somebody better.
Oh, Parvataraja, is there anybody better than you?
Of course. The mouse always succeeds in making holes in me with his powerful teeth.
दंष्ट्रायुधाय धीराय सर्वभेदनबोधिने मूषकाय महेशस्य पुत्रपत्राय ते नमः महेशस्य पुत्रपत्राय ते नमः ते नमः
Digudi guna guna gudi guna guna gudi gudi dim na 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 na. Digudi guna guna gudi guna guna gudi gudi dim na 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 na. Digudi guna 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 dim takita. Digudi guna guna dim takita. Trinku kutriguna triguna triguna triguna. Trinku kutriguna triguna triguna triguna. Trinku kutriguna triguna triguna triguna. Trigum 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 trigum.
ಹಲ್ಲಿನ ಬಲದಿಂದೆಲ್ಲವ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವ ಮಲ್ಲನು ಬಂದನು ನಲವಿಂದ ಹಲ್ಲಿನ ಬಲದಿಂದೆಲ್ಲವ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವ ಮಲ್ಲನು ಬಂದನು ನಲವಿಂದ ಗೋಡೆಗಳೊಡಲನು ಬಾಗಿಪ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಕಾಡುವ ಕೋವಿದನಿದೊ ಬಂದ ಗೋಡೆಗಳೊಡಲನು ಬಾಗಿಪ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಕಾಡುವ ಕೋವಿದನಿದೊ ಬಂದ
This is my daughter, O Mushika. Will you marry her? Dear daughter, would you approve of this Mushika as your husband?
Oh, yes, father. This is the most handsome creature I have ever seen. I would love to be his friend, marry him, and have his children.
Forgive me, dear son. Your daughter and I are not compatible. She is a human. She cannot keep house for me.
Let that not be a problem.
ಮಗರೆ ಮದನಿ ಗಪಸಾಗದ ಧನಿ ಧನಿ ಗ ಪಪಸಾಗದ ಸರಿ ಬಮನಿ ಗದ ಸನಿ ಧಪ ಮದನಿ ಸರಿ ಬಮದನಿ ಗಪಸೋ ಮಗರೆ ಮದನಿ ಗಪಸಾಗದ ಧನಿ ಧನಿ ಗ ಪಪಸಾಗದ ಸರಿ ಬಮನಿ ಗದ ಸನಿ ಧಪ ಮದನಿ ಸರಿ ಬಮದನಿ ಗಪಸೋ
That was Mushika Katha. I present Maithili Shikarpur, Chitra Rao, Divya Huskare, who played the puppets and Indian aesthetics, 3-language formula, life, accepting rejection, and that's nothing wrong with you. It's that you don't fit, there's somebody else, somewhere else. Understanding nature through personifying them as we have done it in India. Going back to non-colonized India, understanding our strengths, our roots, our Bharat, is what these kind of visuals can give little children. Thank you.
यहाँ पे माइक दे
Namaste.
माइक दे दीजिए.
Thank you, Anupma ji, to you and your team. Truly mesmerizing. It had dance, it had drama, it had music. Anupam ji, what do you have to say?
I would say above all, it didn't show the teacher, you know. So I think it was very interesting. And for children, it can be very intriguing because where did their teacher go? And here are only the puppets that are in front of them and the teacher's voice. So this brings in a kind of novelty of its own kind. And of course, it shows our culture in such a rich way.
Thank
Indeed.
you. Thank you, Anupma ji. So I have very humble
Thank you, and I would like to add that when you do this for children, everything is real. For them, the strings disappear, and they're wondering, oh, can you make it work? And they're like, okay, it doesn't need any strings. And the imagination is kindled to a point of the extreme happiness. So we have a bounce in the step, and the joy is just overflowing. Yes. And the learning is in silence. They can think and learn.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anupma ji.
Thank you so much.
May I humbly request the Indian viewers, audiences who have connected through the Zoom link to please leave the meeting and watch the show through YouTube, because we have to interact with some of our Finnish colleagues who are not able to enter, as it is maximum 500. The maximum limit has reached. So a humble request to my Indian friends to please leave the Zoom meeting and view the show through YouTube, so that we can get in the people whom we want to interact and who would like to speak. So thank you everyone. And now we go to the last segment of this storytelling. It is storytelling through drama. Storytelling through dramatization is a dynamic narrative form that combines acting, music, and visuals for an immersive experience. It relies on body language, facial expressions, and voice modulation to convey story nuances effectively. I now invite Dr. Jayashree Sethi, the founder director of Story Ghar and Cheshta Care Foundation, New Delhi, who will be showcasing the next and the last story. And I hope by the end of the story, we should be able to get in our Finnish colleagues with whom we want interaction. So humble request to all of you to please leave the Zoom link. Over to you, Jayashree ji. Audio.
ये हमारे स्टूडियो में तो न्यू दिल्ली है.
Scripts and literature and art, and Jataka tales refers to the stories revolving around the previous births of Gautam Buddha, and these stories intend to teach values and morals that make our life memorable and meaningful. So the story that I'm going to tell you is titled A Lucky Coin. And this story will take you back in times when our economy operated on a fantastic financial structure revolving around annas, takas, and pesas. So 6 pesas made 1 anna. 25 pesas constituted 4 annas, meaning 4 annas. 50 paisa amounted to 8 annas, meaning 8 annas. And 100 pesas, they amounted to 16 anna, means 16 annas. And there's a proverb, an Indian saying, that 16 annas such, 16 annas truth, that not only signifies the numeric value, but also the rock-solid truth that constitutes our lives and our philosophy. So let's begin. And we need little warming up. So are we ready? Bring your right arm forward, use your left palm, pull your fingers back. Same arm, fingers pointing down, use your left hand, pull your fingers back. Left arm forward, right palm, pull your fingers back. Fingers pointing down, right palm, pull your fingers back. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms upside down, elbows closer to your ears, and stretch. So we are ready for our story. So how does the story begin? Oh, simple. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a guy called Shravan Kumar. He was water carrier by profession. In India, in olden times, water carriers were called bhishtis. They would wear a buffalo hide or leather bag around their waist and carry water everywhere. They will sprinkle the shop fronts, and if somebody was thirsty, they will quench their thirst. And these bhishtis would also take water to city's palace. So Shravan Kumar was a water carrier by profession. He was poor, but very hopeful, very positive in life. He could hardly get his ends meet, but he knew that one day he will have all the goodness and abundance in his life. And he would keep singing this song. अपनी जेब में लाखों होंगे आज कल या परसों, हम भी जग के तारे होंगे आज कल या परसों. So Shravan Kumar always believed that he will get all the richness someday, if not today, tomorrow for sure. One day, while he was returning home, he saw something on the street shining in the sun. He bent a little, had a closer look, and what was that? A 1 rupee coin. He had never seen 1 rupee coin in his life, and this coin was a big treasure for him. So far, he had seen only few annas, few takas, and few pesas. This 1 rupee coin was a big amount for you. He immediately looked here and there. Nobody was watching. He kept this coin in his pocket. Reached home, and that day he could not eat food because he was very happy and he was anxious. He was nervous because he thought that somebody would steal it. He hid it under his pillow and slept, but didn't get any sleep. He kept tossing, kept shifting sides, but did not get any sleep. Then he thought he would hide it in some box in the kitchen. He tried that also, but again, he had this fear that one day a thief will come and steal this 1 rupee coin from his humble hut. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, he had a brilliant idea. He suddenly realized that the south side wall of the city fort has 1 brick that is loose. So he walked towards the south side wall of the city fort. He took that loose brick out, kept that coin there, and put that brick back, and this becomes his safe vault. And we call vault Tijori in Hindi in India. And to remember where he had hidden his 1 rupee treasure, he made a mantra, made a chant, first brick on the 3rd row from ground. First brick on the 3rd row from ground. And he kept singing it. First brick on the 3rd row from ground. First brick on the 3rd row from ground. Now he forgot about that 1 rupee coin. He was happy. And sometimes it happens that little things that you collect or you get from some place, they become lucky for you. And that 1 rupee coin proved to be lucky for him because he started getting good work, money, and one fine day, he got married too to a beautiful girl from a nearby village. His life was very nice, joyous, everything was going as per his wishes. Few months passed after his marriage, a fair came to a nearby village. And his wife said, would you take me to the fair? Yeah, why not? When we got married, my father gave me a 1 rupee coin. We'll take that to the fair and we'll buy so many things. Hearing this, Shravan Kumar said, you keep your 1 rupee with you. I also have a 1 rupee coin. You keep it safe. And you know where had he hidden that 1 rupee coin? First brick on the 3rd row from ground on the south side wall of the city fort. So it was 3 p.m. Very hot outside. Sun was scorching, but he was happy. He started walking towards the south side wall of the city fort, and he was chanting the mantra. First brick on the 3rd row from ground. First brick on the 3rd row from ground. Just then, the king, he was standing in his palace balcony. Can you see the king? Shall I show you the king? Okay. Yes! The king. The king was standing in his balcony. He was having a panoramic view, and suddenly his gaze stopped at this lean and thin guy who was walking towards the south side. And King wondered that it is so sunny, so hot, and people are indoors. What made this young man, lanky looking man, so happy, and where's he going? He clapped. Two men came and he ordered them to bring Shravan Kumar to the court. Now Shravan Kumar did not know why he was being caught by the police, sent by the king, but he was caught. And then he was taken to this big court, and suddenly an announcement is made. Ba mulahza, होशियार, राजाओं के राजा, शौकीनों के शौकीन, हैंडसमों में हैंडसम, राजा रंगीला पधार रहे हैं. So Raja Rangila came and sat on his royal seat, and he had big mustache like this. He twisted his mustache, and then he ordered to start the procession. And then two policemen, two Sainiks, bring Shravan Kumar to the court. And this is a beautiful court. There are two aisles, and on each side there are the courtiers sitting with various colored turbans and stoles, and everybody is looking so nice and so upright. Shravan Kumar was new to that place. He was nervous. He didn't know what to do, and he didn't know why he was being caught. Raja Rangila says, "What's your name?" Maharaj, I'm Shravan Kumar. I am a water carrier by profession, and at times I bring water to your place as well. What makes you so happy? Why do you look so happy? I just saw you. Maharaj, in India, we call your highness, my lord, as Maharaj. So he said, Maharaj, I just got married. Oh, does that a reason to be happy? Maharaj, okay, where are you going? Maharaj, I'm going to get my treasure. What treasure? Maharaj, I have got a 1 rupee coin that I have it hidden behind a loose brick on the south side wall of the city fort. And the king wondered that for 1 rupee coin, this poor Shravan Kumar is walking all the way. It's so sunny and hot outside. Let me make his life easy. So Maharaj, Raja Rangila, the king, 2 beautiful maids came, dressed in bright colors. They had a big plate in their hands, and those plates were covered with a red velvet cloth. Velvet, makmal in Hindi. It is so soft to touch and feel. Just close your eyes for a second and imagine, think about one thing that is as soft, as narm, as mulayam, as soft as this velvet, which is called makmal in Hindi. It could be your cat's fur. It could be a pancake. It could be a baby's cheek. And soon, Raja lifted this red velvet cloth, and the golden plate was full with coins. Raja took a fistful and called Shravan Kumar. Come here. Shravan Kumar came And the king gave him those coins. And Shravan Kumar, imagine his situation. 1 rupee coin had made him crazy. Now he had so many coins in front of him. He started counting those coins. 1, 2. Maharaj, there are 10 coins. And 1 coin, my coin, that is in the south side wall of the city fort, that makes up 11 rupees. Maharaj, you are great. I would buy so many things, utensils, jewelry, clothes. Maharaj, long live. Maharaj, you are great. Wait. Raja again clapped. Again those beautiful maids came. They had a plate covered with red velvet cloth. Raja lifted the cloth. Again, this time he took 2 fistfuls of coins, called him close, and Shravan Kumar came close, and Raja gave him those coins. And again, Shravan Kumar started to count his fortune. 20, 30, 40. Maharaj. Coins and then the 1 rupee coin. 1 rupees, Maharaj. Maharaj, I touch your feet. I bow to you, Maharaj. You are great. Why can't you forget that 1 rupee coin? Wait. Again, 2 beautiful maids came with a golden plate covered with red velvet cloth. Raja lifted the cloth again, took 2 fistfuls of coins, called him close, and gave him those coins. And Shravan Kumar again counted 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Maharaj, 1 rupee. Why can't you forget that 1 rupee coin? Maharaj, in India, it is auspicious to have an odd figure. So 501, 101, 51, that is why. Again, 2 beautiful maids came with a golden plate in their palms, and king again took fistful of coins and gave to Shravan Kumar. Shravan Kumar again counted and added his 1 rupee coin that he had hidden behind the loose brick in the south side wall of the city fort. This tussle was going on. Raja, the king, Raja Rangila, kept offering him coins. Shravan Kumar kept counting those coins, and he kept adding 1 rupee coin to that figure. And this bidding kept going on, and there came a time when the coins reached to the number 50,000. And again, in 50,000, Shravan Kumar added his 1 rupee coin. Now everybody in the court was tensed. They knew that Raja Rangila had a cuckoo in his head. He is weird. He has taken silly decisions in the past. And poor Shravan Kumar, the water carrier, could be in a soup, in trouble. So everybody was waiting with the bated breath. What is going to happen? King finally said, Shravan Kumar, look, this is my last bid. And if this time you talked about that 1 rupee coin of yours, I'll put you behind the bars. Shravan Kumar said, yes, Maharaj, as you say. Okay, I give you 1 portion of my kingdom. Tell me, would you forget that 1 rupee coin now? Shravan Kumar was a good salesman. He knew how and when to push the envelope. He knew that it is time to put a stop to this discussion, and this negotiations and this dealing. So he said, yes, Maharaj, as you say. Now everybody took a sigh of relief. That finally this tussle, this fight has come to an end and Shravan Kumar has accepted king's offer without adding his 1 rupee coin to it. Now the king. He twisted his mustache, looked up, then looked at his people in his court and said, Shravan Kumar, tell me, which portion, which side of my kingdom would you like to have? And Shravan Kumar said, Maharaj, the south side portion, because my 1 rupee coin is hiding behind that loose brick, which is the first brick on the 3rd row from the ground. If you could give me the south side. Hearing this, everybody in the court burst into laughter. And the king also smiled. Finally, the royal king, he said, Shravan Kumar, go. I give you the south side of my kingdom. I give you 50,000 coins. And I also give my royal chariot. Take your wife to the fair, Mela, and have a good time there. People who value small things in life, they get bigger fortunes, bigger things. Please take care of the subjects as you took care of your 1 rupee coin. And from that day on, Shravan Kumar was never poor. His life had changed for good and he was very happy, lived happily ever after. So my story ended here, but I have a little math riddle for you, because this story had money, annas, pesas, rupees. So how about playing a little game? So you all do this mental math with me. So all the people in the studio here in India and people who are watching from Finland or through their TV screens, please do this game with me. It's very fun. Think of a number in your head. It could be any number. 9, 8, 7, 10, 90, any number. Done? Now, double it. So if I have thought of 9, I'll double it. It will become 18. Clear till here? Think of a number, double it. Now, add 10 in it. Done? Okay. Now, half it. Make that figure half. Did that? Okay. Now, take away the number that you started with. Like I started with 9. So take away the number that you started with. So I'm sure you all are left with 5. Number 5. Am I right? People in the studio can tell me. Am I right? Yes. This is a fun game. As Nupo before me spoke about the pedagogical relevance of stories and storytelling in classrooms, I also believe that real magic happens after the story is told. So when I tell these stories to children, I talk about little things that they have, that have memories attached to them. And long ago, I was telling this story to children who were in an orphanage kind of a system where they were picked from roadside. They didn't have parents and they were living in this shelter house and they had bad childhood. So I threw this question after this story. Tell me about one thing that you have and that you keep very close to your heart. And then one child said that I have a photograph. And that photograph is torn and jaded and faded. And I can only see the face of my mother, and whom I have not seen for so many years. So these stories are cathartic. They bring out the emotions. And then you can discuss anything about that story or after that story. So I believe in going beyond the story.
So a lot can be talked about the pedagogical relevance, but the one thing the stories do is that they bring joy and bring people close and break barriers. And when we chose the story, we tried to make it as inclusive as possible. So we did some math, and we also talked about various senses that children can use to imagine and visualize and see the story unfold in their little minds. So I had a good time telling the story. I hope you all enjoyed it too. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Jayashree. Truly mesmerizing. I wish all of us could become little Shravan Kumars. What do you say? Anupam?
Exactly, absolutely. And also, if we get inspired by Jayashree in terms of how we use our body and our modulation and our just a few teaching aids around us to build a narrative for students, to take the story and then to, as she said, go beyond the story. It was really interesting to see a young teacher take charge and use just herself and her own skills to narrate. A good note to end, because many teachers, I think, are left with not our rich cultural heritage that we have seen, but with just themselves. So Jayashree modeled for them what it could be to narrate an interesting story despite having very little with them. Thank you, Jayashree.
Thank you, Jayashree. So Anupam ji, I think I would want you to reflect on the entire session that we had.
Yes.
The different storytellers, different genres that we tried to showcase.
Thank you, Suniti ji. As we were listening to the stories, both Suniti ji and I were keeping track of how many viewers were with us. So at the outset, we would like to say that we are very happy that we retained a very rich audience with us, which itself is really a summary of how they liked the session. And it also reflects that there is festivity in the year. There is Thanksgiving week here and in Finland, but still they remain glued to their monitor and were with us. So at the outset, it's very heartening to start summarizing by saying this. And I would also like to congratulate ourselves. Yes, it's really that we congratulate ourselves. So we at NCERT and EduFi and Gentil have got this going now, this webinar series in early childhood care and education. And this was our first one. We did have some lacunae in terms of, some hiccups in starting, etc., but we did this all with no cost. So it's connecting with so many people with no cost across oceans and across lands. So that's heartening indeed. We have a lot more ahead in the seminar series. I'm not going to spill the beans. I'm just going to try to summarize this excellent hour and a half that we enjoyed with the support of people who have spent a lot of time trying to understand how storytelling has evolved in our country. It clearly shows that 400 years or beyond is something that the storytellers have been around in our country, and they have been mesmerizing adults, parents, community members, and children. So what we showed, the types that we tried to bring to you, have been a community effort as well in storytelling, and a community effort in listening to stories as well. We all recall that a grandmother's story had its own flavor. We would give anything to still run even at whatever be our age, and sit in our granny's lap and ask her to narrate a story. And once she narrates it once, we ask her to narrate it once again. And she may do it a number of times, yet we would still ask her to narrate it once more. And she would keep modulating her voice, her expressions, and bring in some newness, even if it is the 100th time that she's sharing the same story. That came through clearly in all that we saw today. We took them to Rajasthan, and we took them to Kerala, we took them to Odisha, brought them back to Delhi, and this whole movement around the country brought in many teacher educators, many teachers, many parents, many children, we hope, as well, sitting and listening. It was a rich array of our cultural heritage and how we have been very conscious about retaining our past and living with it in current times as well. All these storytellers have, as I said, made an effort to retain the old in the current. And we ended with a teacher who could be, Jayashri ji could be representing anybody who may have just come out of her training and be facing 80 children or 90 in a classroom. How does she captivate them? How does she see that every time a story is announced that it's going to be storytelling, there is immediate attention and there is clapping from children. Nothing else brings children more joy than saying that we are going to narrate a story. While we were in Odisha and West Bengal, we saw that cloth-based scroll painting with vivid hues and intricate designs were depicting mythological narratives. We also today relied on body language, facial expressions, and voice modulation to convey story nuances effectively through drama, also which was a real treat, combining acting, music, visuals for an immersive experience. Indeed immersive experience. We saw strings and shadow puppets, captivating skillfully the audience, and many people were engaged in this puppet show. Those who were operating the strings, who were working on these puppets, these characters, the voices that were behind, and the smooth manipulation of the strings in sequence with not a single flaw. No string broke, no puppet fell. Now all this shows that there was mastery on the skill that was being depicted, and it was done flawlessly. Let me also say that it demonstrated very clearly that cultural contextual stories familiarize children both in our country, because as we all know, the diversity is so big that a child sitting in the southern part of the country may not really know what's happening in the eastern part. So we come to know our own country better, and we proudly are ready to share this across all around the globe. We selected stories that were from our context, and we also selected stories which are global. For example, the tailor's coat. That is a story, it's a Russian story. So we also showed to you how a Russian story can be mixed with Indian traditional, and that can be a treat as well. So the stories have no boundaries. We can pick any story, and we can use the storytelling techniques in diverse ways to get our children interested in listening to a story, and very cleverly also then trying to use stories to teach certain difficult concepts that children may not really be interested in. So how do you use this as a technique to, in a very interesting manner, to get across difficult concepts is also something that we as teachers can think about from today's session. Storytelling in itself is fun. We all can say this umpteen number of times, but how this technique, which is a part of our national policy in education being stated very vehemently, is a is a very strong pedagogical tool for us to reflect on. How do we begin a story? How do we end a story? That also came through very clearly today, that we can leave children with lots to think about. Certain open-ended statements can just be given to children to help them coin their own stories. So they take their wings of creativity and use their own thoughts to express themselves. It was truly a very rich webinar that has set the tone, I think, for the others to come by. It was my pleasure to get the MOU going with NCERT and EDUFI. We had 2 joint working committee meetings that followed, which really helped to highlight certain areas of work between the 2 organizations, and with gentle support, how we can build on common areas of interest, learning with and from each other. NCERT has spent many decades trying to grow and support educational endeavors. Our pot is full, and we have lots to share with Finland and other countries, of course, and lots to share from them as well. Finland may be a small country, but it has lots of pedagogical excellence and skills that, for example, in school leadership and training, to say the least, to just mention one, from which we can draw inferences for our own country. I end by saying this is just a beginning. There is lots to come, and the bonding that has taken place amongst educationists as part of the MOU activities is also something that makes us really happy, and it's a good way to end the year and look forward to the coming year with more zing and zeal to take forward our activities and work together. Thank you for this opportunity, Suniti ji. I think it's time now we listen to Pia for her thoughts on the session, and I hand over to her to give her thoughts. Over to you, Pia.
Yes, Pia, you can. Yeah, you can unmute, Pia. Yeah. Unmute. Yes, you can go ahead. Hello?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
sure.
we can.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful afternoon we had here together. It was really inspiring to listen all these stories and experts' views. And thank you, Professors Anup and Suniti, for the great collaboration we have had so far with NCERT and Finnish Agency of Education. I would like to just shortly get all of you thinking and considering that what do you think? What is the purpose of the stories? I think we had a lot of ideas already, and we heard a lot that what stories are about and what is the purpose of them. And this afternoon, I think one of the key issues was that it brought us close, brought us together, like was also mentioned in one speech. So the idea is to bring people together. I think many of you really concentrated this afternoon, listening to these stories and listen to what are they trying to tell us. Maybe you were attached with your emotions. You probably used your imagination. You concentrated, listened carefully. So all these things can be reached through stories. stories also take us to somewhere, probably to imaginary world. But at least I thought this afternoon that I was in India. So thank you really much for these wonderful stories we were able to listen, and that made me really think that stories are important part of our human lives, but also important part of early childhood education. And like what Dr. Leena started with, that the things that I think we need to learn from India, how you use stories, and maybe emphasize these in our pedagogy, that these have been important parts, but probably these days not as highly valued as could be. I don't know how the case is in India, but hopefully you keep up going the good work you have been doing there. But anyway, I think that stories are captivating and also powerful ways to emphasize many important issues with children. So this afternoon we heard about diversity, we heard about sustainability and these kind of things. We heard about values and emotions and so on. Also, through stories we can promote children's learning in versatile ways, like listening comprehension, imagination, what we also experienced this afternoon. Environmental science was mentioned, mathematics was mentioned, arts, and maybe STEAM also. I saw that these were the things that were combined to this afternoon's session. So many skills can actually be connected to storytelling if we just, as educators, understand the power of the stories and the ways we can use them to promote children's positive self-image, their social skills, but also other kind of skills they need in their life. So I truly hope that this webinar encourages early childhood educators and teachers there in India, but also here in Finland, to consider how we can use stories versatile ways with children. How can we strengthen the feeling of belonging and also the skills we want them to learn? But not only as educators or teachers to consider how to use the stories with children, I would also like early childhood educators, the teacher educators, to consider that how could we take these things better into our curriculum when we train the becoming teachers. So already during pre-service teacher education, but also in service teacher education, that how could we consider stories there? How could we emphasize the role of stories even better in early childhood education? So, and I really also believe what was said there, that real magic happens after the story is told. So we have heard a lot of wonderful stories. Coming here together this afternoon was one kind of the story. And the real magic really happens when we leave the seminar, when we put the things into action, when we start to implement the things we learned and we heard this afternoon. So this was really a wonderful event. Thank you very much for organizing it, and thank you for all the experts who put their expertise here and served us others so that we can learn a lot from you. So we are very much looking forward to coming webinars, like said, that will be about play-based learning and STEAM and mathematics. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Priya, for the concluding remarks. So I just take this opportunity to thank everyone who has made this afternoon really eventful. So first of all, my thanks to the audiences for the overwhelming response. So we had about 5.8 thousand viewers on the YouTube and about 500 in the Zoom link. So more than 6,000 people with us today watching the event. So thank you all the audiences. And my thanks to Director NCERT for his guidance and for providing us this opportunity to have this interaction with our colleagues in Finland and in NCERT. I would like to thank the artists for today, Ms. Noopur, Anupama ji, and Jayashree Sethi, who were really good storytellers and kept us mesmerized. Thanks to Dr. Leana and Dr. Pia from Finland, who were here with us to inaugurate the event and to give their remarks. Thanks to Director SCRT Karnataka, Dr. Sumangla, and to Usha ji and Manjunath, who facilitated the puppet show from the studios of DSCRT Karnataka. So thank you so much. Thanks to Joint Director CIT for providing this technical support. Thanks to the technical team. Thanks to Anup Maji. Thanks to Professor Anupama Ahuja, who has been with me all through in selecting the stories, storytellers, and of course in bringing it to you. Thank you, Anup Maji. Thanks are due to the in-charge head IRD, Professor Meghanathan also, who facilitated this interaction. And thanks to one and everybody. Thanks to my people in the department who are not there in the front but made all the arrangements for this event. So thank you one and all who has contributed to make this event a success. Thank you and namaskar.